Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Mandy. Today I'm going to make these heart shelf sitters with you. Those are two that I've already finished that I just showed you, and I've prepared the pieces for this other one, and we're going to put it together. So the two patterned things are decoupaged paper, and then I use some Purely Pigments in from Color Art to paint the like red violet color you see. And we're going to put it together and assemble them and then put the flourishes on. That is the glue I'm using, which is Art Glitter Glue. I get it on Amazon. It's good for indoor stuff because you have time to reposition. For outdoor stuff, I would use Star Bond or wood glue, but this is great for indoor projects. Works really great. It's economical, gives you a little repositioning time. But I think that considering it's almost Valentine's Day, it would be fun to do this project together. I got this design on Etsy from Winetopia. I will do my best to remember to list the file or the listing so that you can locate it. I have a lot of her stuff and I really like it. So if you own a laser and you cut some of your own stuff, you should definitely follow her. She has a Facebook group and she does some really nice tutorials too, which is always useful, I think. Anyway, I'm using some decorative paper. I already had some of it and some of it came in a Christmas pack that I bought. So I cut, I think, 3 different hearts, and then I just mix matched. And what I like about these is they're great for Valentine's Day, but they're also not so Valentine-y that they're not useful for all year. So that's kind of cool. And I like the mix of the paper and the solid color. It's kind of cool to use a pattern and then a solid color right next to it. Sorry if you can hear me wiping off this earring I'm working on. Anyway, so I'm just basically putting the glue down kind of sparingly. And what I like to do is set it down and then let it rest a little bit and then push it down after it gets a little tacky. That seems to work well. Then it doesn't move around a whole lot. Now you could do this with wood glue and clamp it and all that stuff. It just, for indoor stuff, this works fine. I do always spray seal even indoor projects with a clear coat, especially because like decoupage, the decoupage places are done with paper, so I just feel like it gives it a nice seal to protect the surface, and it also helps kind of even out the finish for all of your pieces. So this is the backer. So this is, we're going to basically put everything that we just put together on this backer, and you can see it has the little slot on the bottom to sit on the stand, so it'll actually sit on the shelf. And then once that's done, there's some little flourishes that go on the top that I'll just paint white and distress with a little bit of distressing ink. And we'll glue those on. So, you know, really the time-consuming piece was the decoupage and the glue. You know, like if, and I have a video where I did the decoupage on some trees. I think I already released that. If you kind of want to see the process, I just use Mod Podge. So I'm just putting that mug there just to add a little weight to it. And that's the stand off to the right. I will also paint that white and just use a little distressing ink around the edge. And then here's the cute little flourishes. So what I'm trying to do to the side is make sure I have the right ones, because I also cut some for some shamrocks. Okay, so I'm sorry about my arm. So you can see here's one of them. Very cute. It just kind of looks like a little leafy vine. This is the stand. So the stand has 2 pieces, just because, you know, 1/8 inch MDF alone is, you you know, you're holding a lot of top heavy stuff with one tiny piece. So with the two pieces glued together, it gives it some more stability. Now, if you happen to have issues where you go and put your pieces together and you're like, I'm having trouble getting this to fit. One thing that you can do, let's say you painted your wood or something and you got it too thick, just take a little bit of sandpaper and sand the edge. And then you should be able to get it to fit fairly easily. So I have done that. I've painted too much. I didn't paint those little tabs on this, but I have on other projects where I've had to like take a little sandpaper to it. So it's not a hopeless project if that happens. Just sand it a little bit to kind of narrow out that little tab and it fits fine. So what I'm not doing on camera very well is showing you that I'm taking a little makeup sponge and painting those stands white. And since I'm out of frame, let me speed this part up a little bit. Okay, now you can kind of see, and you just want a little bit on your sponge to avoid the unnecessary extra paint on the sides. You're not going to entirely avoid that, but it's easier just to do a couple of small coats than, or a couple of thin coats than to, in other words, I'd rather hit it a couple times than have to clean up my edges. So you can see just very lightly. The other thing you can do is just put a little bit on it and just kind of sort of streak it across. I could do this with a roller. I just didn't have one out. So this may be harder and take longer, but whatever. It's the way I did it, you know? And so you'll see that on the bottom, I'm just kind of painting the outer edges because that's all that's going to show. I don't really need to paint the inside, just the outer edges. So I'm just taking care of all three of those at the same time. And I'm just using like the smallest amount of paint, letting it dry while I'm doing the other stuff, coming back, doing a quick coat. So now, same idea. Now you could use a little roller on this, but as you can see, it's very easy to get paint down on the sides, which is not a huge deal, but I try not to do that. So I find that, I mean, the roller is faster, you can see, but you can see how very little paint I'm putting on the roller, and then I'm offloading what's on the roller onto that foil or paper on the side. So this is obviously sped up, but you can do this pretty quickly. And I went ahead and did some of the flourishes for a different project. I think it's the shamrocks I'm gonna do. So you can do this with chalk paint, or you can just use like a craft acrylic white paint. Chalk paint has better coverage, but it's also thicker, so you just have to be mindful of that. So we're using art glitter glue to press the stands together, and then I'm going to use some of this distressing ink in a little dauber and just kind of distress the edges. I felt like this was an important step because I'm using kind of a mixture here. I'm using that golden white paper, and then I'm using the kind of the cardstock paper with the red hearts. So I felt like the distressed look kind of helped synthesize it, I guess. I somehow got some color from the table. I was using Purely Pigments, which are very pigmented, so if something was not dry, then it would be very easy to pick up that color. So now I'm just distressing the little flourishes with the, I think that's black soot, and then we will glue them on, and I'll show you what they look like when they're finished. But this, I think, just gives it a little bit of a farmhouse look, and the fact that they're not so stark white, I think, helps them blend into the background. So to me, using a distressing ink is easier than like shading with a paintbrush. There's definitely more than one way to do that, but for me that's easier. I'm just not that skilled with shading with a paintbrush yet. I'll work on it, but you can also shade with these sponges, I think. I've seen people do it on tutorials, but I've never tried it. And like if the ink is working, you know, I don't have a lot of time to be experimenting right now. So we've got one of those on. You can see how cute that is. And we'll do the other one. Sorry about my arm. We'll do the other one right here. So this is the biggest heart. And so I'm just dabbing that glue on where there's some big spaces and then taking a makeup sponge and spreading it out so it's a little bit even. That also prevents the seepage out from under. This glue does dry clear, but you know, you can still see if it seeps out from underneath it. So it's just a good way to minimize it. I was also showing you that I had gotten a glue mark on my paper, and I just, to kind of blend it in, I distressed it with some ink. So that's kind of what that looks like on the little stand. It's super cute. And because they don't like, say like, you know, Be My Valentine or whatever, you can really put them up all year if you wanted to. But what I like about these is you can take them off their stands and put them away neatly. So if you're somebody that decorates for all the holidays, or you put cute little things out in your office, you can put it up when you're not using it and put something else up. So right now we have these on our entertainment center. And you know, when it's like St. Patrick's Day or something, maybe we'll put some cute shamrocks or something instead. What I love is she has some cute like designs that are similar to this. She has some birdhouses. She has a Texas shape. Several different cute things. Christmas trees. So here I'm just showing you kind of how I'm taking that distressing ink and just going around the edges on that stand. And that just gives a nice little depth, moderately distressed look, so it kind of matches the rest of the heart. If I didn't, then this would be like bright white, and then the heart would have distressed edges. So you don't have to do this, but I thought it was worthwhile. So I just wanted you to just kind of see that process. And then after I clear coat it, I will show you a close-up so you can see what they look like. Okay, so here they are finished and standing up so you can see them. I think they turned out really cute. You'll have to let me know what you think. If you are interested in getting a laser for yourself, I have my XTOOL link in the description box below. They're a great company to work with, and I really enjoy my laser. I never knew it could do so many things until I got it. So anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about these, and have a great day. Thanks for your support as always. Bye.